Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here going to be extending the track out and hopefully getting this down to where we can actually meet the main line and start running some trains out in this direction. Big goal, longest run of the railroad for sure. So we'll just have to see if we can actually get it all done in one go or if it gets broke up. Not really sure yet. We'll just have to see how long it kind of takes. This one can take a while, that's for sure. Alright, we're going to take this into precise mode. And then we'll start doing what we do. How far? I think we'll go out like this. Although, is that clear all the way out? Yeah, it should be. Maybe not. Let's redo that. Too far over into the grass. So we'll just take it there and we'll go over one more click and we'll take it down. And there we should be okay. And at that point we're going to switch now down to the wall for this turn at least. Which is gonna be okay. Now we'll go out into singles. We're gonna take it out about as wide as we can. And then we'll look back, see how the wall looks. Yeah, that's not bad. Get rid of a couple of more trees here. Alright, cool. Because we want the wall to be the outside of the cliff. Cool. And then we're going to try to keep that look going here. Move this over. Should have taken out the other trees. We can move by far more than one. Let's see if we can get it straight in here. Cool, and then we can start turning. Get rid of some of the trees. There's always trees to get rid of. No matter what you do. Unless you get rid of them all. Never done that before. Oh, wait. Didn't need that. We still want to be flying. We're going to need at least one more wall here. So we'll grab that. Although I guess I don't know if we really do need the wall. What? We will because we want the look. But we also need to make sure, I guess, that we get that down. So if we go like here, and then we go back to grass. Did we incline that, or did that all go straight? It did go flat. How high up is that? Like, is it going to be a problem for us? I don't think so. We'll just have to see now what happens. We may have to relay that because that straight piece in there actually, ooh, see? And then that's going to be like floaty dirt, so... Yeesh. Alright, let's go back. Get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. And we'll redo it so that it's not... That should have been going down, is the real problem. Alright. Close enough. Take it down. Good enough. So if we do that, and then we'll just grab, yeah, now we're going down. That's where we want to be. Alright, and then we want to turn this one. We can't overturn it just for looks. So we're not going to do that. Alright, so we need a turn somewhere in there. We're at 40, but we only want the wall to go, you know, where it's going to look decent. I suppose that's actually probably, we need more wall or it's going to turn around and stick out the ground. Are those going down? Yeah, they're still going down. Okay, cool. We'll grab dirt. And we should be good. We are good. We just need to set our incline. What the heck is going on over there? Can't even tell. Alright, whatever. We'll just go something like that. Don't know that we need to keep going down at 3% this whole way. We are, yeah, because see, we're getting into the dirt. So we're going to bring that up a little bit. Something like that. Basically keeping it level across there. We'll do some, well, we're actually going to need a bridge in here. So we'll do something like that. Then we'll go in. Nope. We'll grab that. That'll give us our foundation for our bridge, which we'll do like that. Cool. That's cool. Alright. Give us kind of the look we're going for. And then here, I think we will grab, what kind of bridge do we want to put across here actually is the thing, right? A lot of options. I don't think a one straight piece is going to get us across here. Oops. What are you doing? It's going to be too tall for that anyway. Too tall for that, too long for the single piece. We could get crazy in here, but I don't necessarily see the point. So let's just go straight up wood. Hard to beat a classic. We will have a little bit of curve in it. It looks like. Boy, that looks low. Alright, well, then we'll do something like that. And then we will go grab wall. And that should give us our foundation to the rock. We are going to bend this a bit. And by a bit, I mean a lot. And somehow that we can start bringing it down right away. Probably even more. Alright, if we do something like that, let's take a look. Yeah, that came out not horrible. The trusses are in good space. I think we'll get rid of this. Alright, and then we will try to get rocking and rolling. Kind of the build style, though this part, you know, you gotta pick your way down through it. That's the thing. I mean, can you throw it in fast? Probably, you definitely can. But then, you know, you gotta run it too. So, that's the kicker. This part of the track probably pays off to spend a little bit of time with. We're good. Good. And at this point, I think we're going to go back to the wall. So again, oops, we can do the corner where we can fill it out. Look like it's kind of a stone wall. Is our hope. So again, we're just going to ride this right along the outer edge as much as possible. We actually could get that on one steady. Almost all the way right to there. Whew. Yeah, see, it's cool, but then it's not because it's low right there. So we'll do this a little bit different. We'll just bring in some smaller pieces is what we'll do. And of course we'll change the angles. Something like that, I suppose. Then we can actually just keep it out here. We don't need to totally give up the curve. So we won't. Although somewhere in here, I think we're actually going to want to start curving back this way anyway. Something like this. But then, how does that look? That tree has got to go because it is right in our way. So if we do something like that, we don't have anything crazy going on. Alright, there we go. And then this, can we go to ground? No. Can't go to ground yet. Have to get this away from here a little bit. So this we're going to start going straight now. That's the kicker. Straight, get our incline right. So make sure that we're staying as low as we can up to the 3%. I guess, do we want to curve this over at all before we start? Maybe we don't want to go quite straight yet. Something like that. And then I think we're just going to stay with wall in here. It's just going to keep it cleaner. And then at this point, we're going to slam it back and hopefully make it through the horseshoe. Somewhere remotely decent. Alright, we are going to take it That's not enough. We'll try to go at 31 just so it's not 30. But it's definitely going to work. But we can already get this off of there. I think we'll do like that. Cool. Cool. That brings us through the horseshoe. I don't see why that's not going to work. Shouldn't be a problem. And now we just got to start running. We will have obviously trees everywhere to get rid of. Nice thing with this is it's all kind of on a path at this point, so it does make bringing down trees and stuff pretty easy. In fact, we might be able to fly up and just remove trees afterwards. No, get rid of that. Grab that. There. And now let's see if we can go get some of this in a little bit faster. In fact, we may be able to take that right out of manual mode and just actually start slapping some rail in here. So even through the twists and the turns, a lot of times you can just turn around and auto snap this stuff. See, but then there, like, you get track like that sometimes lays out of the auto snap, and who wants that? You know what I mean? Nobody. And then see, even the way that this is, like, granted, it's that's the auto terrain for, we're not using that up here. Forget it. We'll go in and manually do it. Once you get down and look at that, not running trains on that is just gonna make it too inconsistent. Much faster, yes. Sloppy mess, kind of. Alright, we don't want to go that big of a drop. We'll just see what we can get out of it. Actually laying it down. Might just be able to get much better looking rail. Sometimes you gotta pick between the two, you know, precise mode or freehand, however you want to look at it. Let's up that. We don't need to be that exact in here. We just need it moving. Oh, we gotta get rid of that piece of track. That's junk. Alright, there. Looks good. Alright, let's get rid of some trees now. That's the thing with this, you know, it is a bit of a time consuming. It's definitely, yeah, see, not, well, yeah, it's gonna work. They're just buried in flowers down on the ground level. It's not looking great, but it's fine. Ooh, we don't need anything else in here. We need that there. Start turning. I don't think we need to be too tight to that, so we're not going to worry about like going into wall. We'll just stay far enough away that the edge isn't going to stick out there. Is what we'll do. Keep it on a nice steady curve through there, and then we might have to do some height adjustment. So we'll just keep that there. Bring that down a little more. Can't bring it down quite that far though, as we're going up. Alright, so we're good on height until there, and then there we have to start coming up, or at least going down less. We'll just run flat. A lot of undulation up and down in this. We can't go down a lot, can we? We can some, actually. See if we can get away with that. And then we'll bring it out just to there. Should be good. Let's get rid of some trees, make sure. Oh, it says as long as you can see the ties, usually you're good to go. You know, you're not sinking into the ground. Quite frankly, you can get away with a lot more than that nowadays, so. This is gonna be a longer build, but knew that. Longest build of the railroad here. All important connection to coal, though, and in today's, you know, everything's fueled with coal. Not everything, but a lot of things being fueled with coal. Coal is an important destination, obviously, and one you're gonna go to a lot. So, depending on how you run the railroad, you know. I guess we don't have to go too crazy with this, because we do have plans. But you have to have a rail out here. Tree trimmer's paradise. Always has been. Pine Valley. Alright, and this, we'll just see where the track goes, because I'm never sure. There's a bunch of different tiers in there. Can never make up my mind. Alright, this is just absolutely screaming for something. I'm gonna put, where is it? Gotta do it. Oh, that was not the right button at all. Alright, there. That way there'll always be a couple of bears when we go cruising by there. Just for looks. Highlight, I have to say. I was kind of hoping for a moose at some point. I always thought it would have been fun to have a moose on the corner. We have antlered deer instead, so there's that. Whoa. Alright, let's get that down. We're better off just being out here and then cranking it, if that's what we're gonna do. How much do we have to crank it? Not a lot. Alright, and then there, because we'll have to get back on a steeper incline. Looks like just a 1%. Should do it here. Alright, keep us cruised along. And I think that should do it. And then we'll start turning and dropping. Oh, can we drop that far? We don't need to drop that far. We won't drop that far. And we'll keep the curve as chill as we can get it around here so that we don't have to. Problem is we're losing sight of where do we want to be. We gotta come on here and scout ahead and figure out where the heck we're going. No, you lost it. I think we're coming up. We should be coming up somewhere through here. So we're gonna be on this level. Where is the track? It's gotta be somewhere around here. Oh heck no, we're way up here. Huh. Well, we're gonna have to work somewhere in this neighborhood, I think. The thing is, I don't know whether to go up or down with it. I'd like to be going down, I think. Something like that? Is that working? I just don't want to build into nothingness. So when you build yourself into a corner, then you have no way to go up, you know? But we seem to be doing alright here. So let's just keep going with it for now. Alright, we'll get rid of some of the trees. If anything, this should be a rough guideline of where we need to be. I almost feel like I should have stayed up here. But that's what I mean by picking, like, which height do you come up, because there's steps in here and it's like, which one do you turn on? That's always been the thing. I feel like we could have stayed up there and then come down, but we'll just see where where this comes out. Alright, so now we want to turn way to the inside, or at least as far inside as we can get, apparently. Wait, why is it going that way? What the heck? What just happened? Alright, I don't know what's going on there. That's messed up. Alright. There we go. Now you're coming back the direction we want to go. Something like this. We want to get, let's go up in this guy. Should make life way easier. Right, we want to turn. Not that far. Okay, somehow that works. So we'll just take that. And then we'll go. No. Hopefully we don't have to go up. We can just stay flat and make this turn. There. I think we will have gotten through that, which should be the last of the big headache here. And now we'll try to move this. Alright, cool, cool. This one should go, or it's going to cause me a panic attack every time we go by it. Okay, cool. We actually are looking decent there. Rail not too crazy in any way, shape, or form. Not bad. Now we just got to get around these little objects in here. I know there's all these little bumps in the road here. We'll try not to take out too many trees, because don't know. A lot of times it would run this whole route in the wall. Just makes it easier sometimes. Anyway. Just depends on the look you're going for. Trying to get this one down in dirt, I gotta be honest. Don't know that almost always I think I've done this in the wall. Just because then it gives you the ability to clip over the edges and stuff wherever you feel like, because you get a decent wall look. But okay, if that's gonna work, we'll take it. If we can. The problem is now we're getting down. We're getting down into the dirt on the shelf. Alright, let's go clean up this track and see what we're looking at here. Is this gonna work or not gonna work? We may have to make an adjustment with the time of day. We don't want to be building here in the dark. Good enough. Ground. All groundwork 1. So as long as it stays groundwork 1, we're not going to change anything. We're out here in the dark rainforest. He's somewhere in here. Get a good look at everything. Alright, still seeing all the ties. This is going to be close. There's no ties. But we got a good clean rail, so we should be good to go. Not that close, I don't think. Alright, bring that down. Not that far. Is that really where we want to be? Pretty much. It's there or it's coming down here one way or another. No, so we want to be... We would rather be out here. Can we get the rail out this way without doing too much if we bring it like here and then we start turning it. Oh, no, we're way too far over. Where'd the rail go? Okay, so that is not going to work. That was not a positive decision. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of some trees just so we can see what is going on here. And make some decisions. Okay, we're good to here. Alright, there is our final. This part, honestly, it's probably easier if we were laying it coming up the hill. This is one of those weird places where I find it's actually probably easier to lay up the hill. Bear country. It is a little dark and gloomy. Okay. So something like that. You know what? You might as well just get rid of these. You want to go through there in that neighborhood anyway? Good luck finding it again, right? No, we're gonna have to be there. See, then the problem is we end up. Whatever, that's just how we're gonna run it. And then we'll switch over to the wall and bring it down. Because that is gonna be a nasty amount of drop. So just turn it on the path like that, and then we will just turn around and put the wall. What it is. Said if we had to switch to it, wasn't going to be the end of the world. See, no matter how wide you take it, I mean, I guess we don't need to clip any more trees good enough. Now we're building in a hurricane, but what it is. Probably not gonna. I can't believe, takes time to pick your way down a mountain, I guess, or it's taken more time to pick the way down the mountain than I was kind of hoping or thinking, I guess it would be, but it is what it is. I knew it was definitely going to be the longest build that we do. This is a long path, and if you rush it too much, you just end up making ugly rail. Then you end up ripping it out 10 times anyway. Not that, I'm not saying by any means I have the prettiest looking rail or anything, but if you rush things, it doesn't generally pay off. So only can go so fast when it comes to these sections of the rail, or at least for me, that's how it works. Some people are very fast with it, I'm sure. Alright, I think something like this, and then we'll get our big curve on here. Or sharper turn. Keep it like that. Yeah. And that deals with the problem, not too bad. Cool. Not a lot of straight flat rail in this. Alright, something like just before the turn. Then we can set up for the turn. And then we'll do the same thing back this way. Here, if we can get in a little bit of a straighter piece, I guess. We're not going to really be able to do that. Keeping that at 3%, is that going to work out for us? What are we in? 50? Let's try to get into tens. We are clear. There we go. Still going down at 3%. And try to keep it under that. Not that it matters. I mean, I guess we could actually go steeper than that. Although, I don't know. I still don't even know how we're going to attach this into the main, because I'm still tossing between a couple of different ideas in my head there of how to get back. Well, that's definitely not where we want to be. I think we need to be here on this. This is what we are aiming for. So we'll bring it back like this. We're right down in the middle. Pretty sure this is the ramp at the end. That's gonna get us down to the water, so we're getting close. Alright, get rid of you and you. Whoa, lightning through the trees. That actually looks pretty cool. I have to give them credit. Credit where credit is due. Yeah, the weather and day and night program works pretty well for looks, I have to say. That is awesome. How the lightning looks as it's cracking through the tree like that. Definitely a little high on that side, but since we're close to the mountain, I think we can pull that off okay. I don't mind that. We'll have to see how it looks when we're running trains. Running trees. Listen, I'm cutting too many trees. When we start running the train up, but if anything, we could always switch to a some sort of bridge in that section. Not too bad. I think we'll keep that. This one's always like, how much do you get rid of here? I think we'll just go ahead and clear the ramp out of the way. Should make it easier coming down here. Still so far to go. That's the kicker. There's a whole river valley to run. And I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't just want to hurry and go splat. That's the thing. I haven't even decided, like, I know last time we ran up the path on the lip, I was almost thinking about just running straight down the river this time. Do we want to? I think for the time being, we'll still run the wall until we get lower, because we're up awfully high to just switch to ground. So let's get that down at 3%, and then we'll just kind of follow the ridge. I think we'll put a little bit of a turn on here. And then we'll start turning a little more now. Bring that. Kick you out a little bit there. Are we gonna have to change? Yeah, we're gonna have to change. So let's go to there. And then we will make the turn to come down. Off the ramp. And back that direction. I think like that should be nice and smooth. Nice transition. Not going too crazy here. Cool. Alright. There. Get to ground. What? What? That makes no sense. Yeah, weird. I think it just wanted to keep going because of the carry down from the arch. Okay, we'll do that. Then we'll go down, grab some ball work, run that out to the water. Bam. Whoa! No, 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 no. Uncool. Uncool. Wrong button, you know. It's one of those things. Take forever to line up a piece, and not that that one we obviously didn't take that long, but sometimes you line up a piece forever, then you right click, and then poof, there it goes, you know. Bridge. I think in this case we'll just go red for fun. Is that too long? Oh, with the footing, I don't like the way that looks at all. Eesh. That's not happening. Alright. What are our other options? How is something like that gonna look? If we just do something like that. So we have a walk. Oh, I'm gonna do that 100 million times. They should just put a build on the scroll wheel. Alright, and then that would be our bridge. Do we like the way that that looks? It could have been a little bit longer, but then we'd end up with that way out in there. I don't know. I almost kind of like that a little better. It almost looks like we have some like dam gates we could close or something. I think we'll keep that. Why not? I'm okay with that one. Oh, we don't need to get rid. We need that. There we go. Making landfall. It's like, do we go up to the... So there's a dev path that runs along the valley. Do we go up that, or do we run down at the base of the valley? That's the question. I'm almost leaning towards going down the base, because I haven't done that for a very long time. Which would give us an opportunity to probably put in a lot of bridges. Something like that. And then we'll try to go straight if we can get away with it. Straight looks good. Until it doesn't. Okay, we can get over a little bit without going too crazy. I think we'll do something like that. Bingo. Longest trip. Longest track or branch that we're gonna have. Alright, there we go. I don't know if I'm in love with that, though. That may change, that bridge. That bridge may definitely change. It's working. But, look-wise, I don't know if that's what we're looking for there. Alright, then this we are going to get out to the edge. This is what we're going to do. Big debate. Up the path or just free run it down. I know the very first time I came up this river valley, I just laid like one continuous bridge work all the way down. Went over the river, I don't know, as many times as you can go over the river, just about in just one straight piece of bridge work all the way up. But it makes for a nice fast run, so we may repeat something similar to that, where this is the longest run we're going to be doing. Alright, we'll grab a few of these on the way back. We might as well just clear the path. At this point, we know we're going to be following this up through here. And then it's going to be somewhere in here that we'll have to make up our mind. Because if we're going to go right up the path, you want to hug this side and kind of come up here. Keeps you level. And then, you know, up here it kind of splits. Because you're going to go off this way. If you come down this, you can come down because really it's probably more so about getting over here and running down this way. And I just have not made up my mind. Obviously we have a lot of ground to cover, so we came down from there. We're here. I mean, clearing trees. With the track, we're somewhere here so far, so we still have one way or another. We had to bring it down all the way down here and all the way out. So I don't know, I honestly don't know that we should even try to do it all in this one run, because I feel like I'm going to start getting really careless about it if we do that. Because I'm just going to try to jam it in there. And I don't really want to do that, because then it's just going to get to be a waste. Alright, where are we? We got a nice path cut there for this portion. I like the elevated path that's up on the kind of the rim of the valley. The problem with that run is that you end up with a couple of spots in there where you do have to slow down quite a bit, and I honestly don't want that on this one. So I'm thinking about running down the river just because can express that route a lot more. And then I think we'll have to just curve this one more, is what we're gonna have to do to get it the way we want it. Wow, that's a big shift. How about something like that? That'll work. Most of this flat here, so that's pretty nice. Not fighting the constant up and downs as we were a little bit ago. So you get to get the rail in there a little bit faster. Oh, there we go. Check that out. Water. Huh. So that's how the water texture. Right. That's cool. Trying to keep this flat. How far out does that get us going flat? Alright. So we are going to start elevating. Although, I don't think... Let's see, how's that going to look? Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. Winner! There we go. We'll keep it a little close to the edge. Let's start getting away from that. Crank that up a little more. I know sometimes it's really easy to get stuck on moving one at a time and then just kind of stay there, and everything just takes you a little longer than it needs to. We can start flattening out. Yeah, that is gonna be okay. And then here we're gonna grab a curve and probably have to go up a little bit. Have to be somewhere in this neighborhood. I think 60 is better than 50 if we can get it. We are definitely going to have to start going up. This is the split. The split doesn't come until right there. That's where we absolutely have to decide, although really here, because we could work towards the inside of this and then just head straight across. Problem is, if we do that, we're kind of in a hole and have to come up. So our other option is to swing here or to start going up that way. But I don't think, just time-wise, if we try to do that, it's going to be too much of a drag out. And then I also think that, or the other option is to just start time-lapsing it, and then I think we're getting away from where we want to be with this. So we'll just kind of clean these up a little, and we'll just have to cut the longest. The longest run will have to be in two parts because it's just too, honestly, it's too long for me to try to do into one just very long video. If we're going to be patient about it and have it, you know, at this point, the rail is looking decent. And I'd rather keep it looking decent and maybe actually do some more stuff along the way, little decorations here and there, rather than just rushing it. So I think for the most part, at least that gets us down off the mountain and just about up to the valley. So we just have the valley run at this point, and then we're still going to have to figure out how we connect it in, because we have the smelter going, but then how we want to bring it in here whether we take it in quick or we lay in a bypass or both. That's also another option. So just still a long stretch of track to run, but I think we'll try to jump in and get that on the next one. And so far, I think we're going to call this one a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.